We all know the feeling. You've been posting consistently, putting so much time and effort into your Instagram content, and then you pop into Instagram Insights to check your results and utter disappointment. Okay, so maybe it's not quite that dramatic, but I still think we can all relate to that feeling. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything you possibly can, following all the tips and advice and strategies, and still not growing, trust me, you're not alone. Unfortunately, even if you're putting in all the time and energy into growing your Instagram, you still might not see the results that you're looking for if you're making one of these 3 mistakes that I'm going to talk to you about in today's video. This is why you might not be growing on Instagram. Mistake number 1, following hacks instead of humans. So there's a lot of bad Instagram advice out there, trust me. I spend a lot of time, probably too much time, on this side of the internet. Now, I'm not saying that this advice is being given intentionally to mislead people, but the thing is, as a platform, Instagram has changed and evolved a lot over the years, and even some of the good advice that used to work years ago just doesn't cut it anymore. And some of the most popular hacks going around, honestly, were never that effective. They just sort of seemed like they should be, so they got shared around a lot. Because unfortunately, a lot of people share Instagram advice because they've just heard it before and then are telling you rather than them actually having experienced it working. Which is why it's good to follow people like me that share their insights and actually show you my, method for experimenting and figuring out what works and what doesn't. Honestly, there could be a whole laundry list of cheap tricks and hacks that don't really work but still get shared around in the community for some reason. So let's just run through a few of them rapid fire style. If you're looking at how shiny I am and wondering how hot it is in this fan right now, the answer is as hell. It's hot as hell in here. Let's start the clock. Okay, 10 slide carousels. I get the idea behind this. People are trying to make their carousels as long as possible because the idea is the more time people spend on your post, the more your post will be prioritized in the algorithm, right? I get that. The way to do that is not by stretching your carousels out unnecessarily to 10 slides. You can make people spend more time on your post just by making them legit interesting and engaging and helpful. Debunked. 30 hashtags every time. This is a controversial one. I know some people feel very strongly about using every hashtag that the app allows them to, but literally Instagram themselves told us 5 to 6 specific and unique hashtags is the way to go. Adding additional hashtags is not going to give you more distribution. Debunked. Maintaining the perfect feed aesthetic. This is definitely like Instagram circa 2017, 2018, right? My philosophy now about your feed is that it should be on brand. The visuals should be generally consistent, meaning like have brand colors, have brand fonts that you use all the time. But otherwise, think about the covers of your posts as thumbnails, especially when it comes to Reels, because if somebody finds you through the Reels Explore feed and then they come to your profile, you want to make sure that your other Reels look enticing and interesting to them. So add text to your Reel covers, give a sense of what the Reel is about, so people will want to tap and watch more. Debunked. Finally, engaging 30 minutes before and after posting. This is advice that I myself gave many moons ago because it was supposed to boost your engagement. Like if you went into the app and started commenting back and forth with people, they would be seeing your username and potentially coming to your profile, and then therefore they would see your post when it went live. My philosophy around engagement now is a lot more organic. I think that you should set aside some time to reply to your comments and your DMs every single day so you can stay in touch with your audience, and obviously you want to have it be a two-way street. You can't just expect people to comment on your post but then never actually reply back to them. But I don't think you need to be as strict as doing it exactly 30 minutes before and after you make a new post. I think you can just do it when it works for you. Overall, whether the hacks are new or old, or if they sort of seem to make sense, doesn't really matter. What we need to do is, instead of thinking about these quick tips and tricks that can help us optimize our platform for growth, instead, we need to think about creating content for real people. Content that real people really want to engage with, like just stuff that's legitimately interesting. Because at the end of the day, we are creating content for people, not algorithms, right? So if you're making your carousel 10 slides long because you think the algorithm's gonna like it, instead try to ask yourself, will my ideal follower like it? Or will they be annoyed that I've stretched this content out across so many damn slides? Think about what information or stories will connect with your audience most, and then spend time on crafting those to be as engaging and visually interesting as possible. And if you spend your time focusing on that Rather than just trying to optimize what you've already got going on with hacks, you're going to see much better results. And if you're creating for humans and not just for algorithms, then chances are you might have something to sell. Whether it's physical products, digital products, or services, all of these avenues can be a great method for monetization for new creators. And I wanted to quickly tell you about a really awesome platform that can make that happen for you, and it's called Odoo. Odoo is an open source management software, and the incredible thing about it is that it is 100% totally free forever. That's right, seriously, no strings attached, free. And when you're using Odoo, you get unlimited users if you have just one app installed. Plus, you can get a free personalized domain for a whole year when you sign up. But let me show you how easy it is. When you sign up, you can choose what services you need. You'll probably want to create a website and an online shop so that your audience can access your paid offers. It takes just a few clicks to set up a very professional website and online store. You don't need to know how to code or anything fancy like that. You can use Odoo's super user-friendly drag and drop interface to build a lovely website. If you want to try out Odoo for yourself, then check out the link in my description, and thanks again to Odoo for sponsoring today's video. Mistake number 2, making content for you instead of for your audience. This honestly is a tough one because I really do believe that there needs to be a balance here. But while there's room in my Instagram philosophy for creativity and personal expression and making stuff because it makes you happy, I also think it's really, really important that you go into content creation thinking about your audience first. Let me give you a specific example of this mistake that I see quite a lot. Small business owners who are looking to integrate content creation into their marketing strategy sometimes run into this mistake. If you spend too much time sharing about the behind the scenes, the story of how you became a business owner, tips and tricks for how you got into business, then you might just accidentally be attracting your competition to your content rather than your customers. Let's say, for example, you have a cupcake shop. It might seem like a really great avenue for content to share all the behind the scenes, how you order your packaging, how you design your cupcake designs, how you found your storefront space, all of this stuff that's a part of your story. And that might be the kind of stuff that you feel excited to create as well. But by creating that, you're going to end up attracting an audience of people who are looking for business advice, not cupcakes. Or let's say you're a wedding photographer. If you post all about cameras and lenses and presets and finding the right light, you'll attract an audience of aspiring photographers, not brides-to-be who are looking for a wedding photographer. So this is where it becomes really, really important to have a very crystal clear idea of who your target audience is and what kind of content they might want to see from you. That is how you're going to determine your content pillars, rather than just kind of thinking about what sort of stuff you feel like sharing. So to go back to that wedding photographer example, instead of making your content pillars like cameras, presets, lighting techniques, maybe instead you'll make your pillars stuff like best wedding decor, like how to create a vibe at a wedding reception, mistakes that I've seen brides make. These are the kinds of things that people who are planning a wedding will seek out and find interesting or entertaining. And of course, you can still make one of those pillars to be about your gear, your process, your techniques as a photographer, because it's still important to share your expertise and establish yourself as an authority, because the people that become interested in your content and are looking to take that step further to become a customer are going to want to see that type of stuff so they feel that trust when they're ready to actually go ahead and book you. So it's all about finding the right balance, understanding what your audience wants to see, and then figuring out how you can sort of plug in the kind of stuff that you want to make sense within that strategy. If you want to learn more about my sort of philosophy around balancing content for the audience and content for you, check out this post on my Instagram feed, because I talk all about the one for them, one for me kind of method. Mistake number 3, comparing yourself to others. I know, stopping this one is much easier said than done. Trust me, I know from experience. I just kind of had this personal realization the other day that I was spending so much time scrolling, creeping other people's profiles, comparing their, like to follower ratio, and just generally sulking. And I was spending more time doing that than I was creating. And that's a big problem. But I think it's something that a lot of creators go through. Here's the thing. Knowing what's going on in your industry is important. It is good to know what the general trends are, see what your competition is doing, see what other people in your niche are doing, and kind of get a sense of what's performing well for them, what unique ideas have they kind of brought to the table, and what can your personal spin be on it. There is definitely a benefit to having that awareness of your niche. But if you spend too much time doing this, you'll end up stuck in a rut of self-comparison and just feeling bad about yourself. And this truly does nothing for your forward progress, just to kind of sit and sulk and be like, why aren't I as good as the other Instagram girlies? Like, that's not going to help you grow. And trust me, I'm saying this to myself just as much as I am to you, because it's a lesson that I feel like you just have to keep on learning throughout your content creator journey. You're much better off spending time thinking about that ideal audience, maybe even creeping some profiles of your followers, or just spending time having conversations in the DMs with the people that engage with your content most. Focus your time and energy on them and engaging with them and getting a sense of how you can provide value to them rather than comparing yourself to your competition. It's a much healthier form of content inspiration, in my opinion, to gather thoughts, questions, opinions from your audience and then create content directed to that, rather than just kind of looking around, gathering data on your competition and trying to be more like them. Talk to your audience, figure out what they want from you, how you can help them, and then make sure there's alignment between what they're asking for and what your overall business goals are. And then if there's a match, create that content for them. Sometimes the people that we spend so much time thinking about and comparing ourselves to, our audience might not even be aware of. So what's the point in kind of setting that as the benchmark or the goal if that's not what your followers are looking for anyway? They're following you for you. So figure out how you can be the best version of yourself and serve them the content that would be helpful for them. Once you overcome these 3 Instagram mistakes, then you'll be ready to create content that is seriously going to help you grow. But to see the real results you're looking for, you're going to want to make sure that you stay consistent. In this video right here, I share my top 3 hacks for how I stay consistent on Instagram. So you're going to want to make sure that you watch that next. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you over in this one. Okay, bye.